You're lit up. So we actually
we are live. So you need to put your little headphones on. Ken's having an issue with his headphones right now. He likes the little stuff going on there.
So has the show begun?
He likes a little light up.
Hey, how you doing?
Yay.
All right. Oh, there's the camera.
There it is.
So
we are live. Yay. And this one's just for Ken. Yeah. There we go. Ken's happy camper now. So we are ready.
Where's yours? Show me.
Oh, mine's here.
Yeah.
I like that one.
So how do we know if the sound quality or anything? I mean,
it's great. It's already been tested because we have this incredible producer, Stacey. She's amazing.
Look at her running.
She's running away because she's afraid we'll put her on camera.
Okay. So welcome to the first episode. Let me call it episode of what used to be called Law and Disorder and is now called Law and Disorder. And Law and Disorder was a radio show that aired sometime in the 2000s. I don't remember the years. But what was significant about it at the time was it was a radio show. This is a podcast. And there's a difference. For one, if I want to, I can look down at the screen and see myself and freak out. Those of you that watch the preview,
which he's already done in practice. And then he got intrigued when the little messages started coming up. Oh,
right.
God.
So that was during the preview, and so I'm trying to look at the camera and I look down and see what's going on down there. So what we decided to do, it's New Year's Day, right? So Happy New Year's, like I care.
Woo-hoo!
Yeah. AJ and we kind of talked to each other. I said, well, rather than come up with content, which would be smart, I grant you that.
We said we were.
Right. So the content tonight is simply introduce ourselves relatively, put ourselves in context. Some of you know me, some of you know AJ, some of you know both of us.
Some don't know any of us.
Right.
Nah.
That's possible. And so while the website, because there is a website now, it was defunct for years because there was no show. There's now a website with our bios on it and links like to my blog, to the website, to my law practice, I think, maybe. I'm not positive.
Yeah, this guy's an attorney.
Yeah. and then AJ's got her Dallas Yoga Magazine and the Cosmic Yogi Festival and stuff. Awesome. So you want to go to the website, but don't ask me where it is right at the moment. And you go there and you can get more information. And I've been writing a blog for a couple of years. I wouldn't say it's good, but I wouldn't say it's bad either. It's earnest. I'll give you that. It's earnest. So here's a quick summary of me. What a hot mess. Oh my God.
Okay, that sums it up. That's it.
But I'll fill in a little blank. So I started out young.
No, it's very interesting, actually. I'm teasing him and everything, but it's very interesting, his story.
I was a baby and I was raised.
Really?
Yeah. Oh. Only for a little while. I accelerated out of babyhood, right into toddlerhood almost.
Wow.
Yeah.
Genius.
I graduated grade school when I was 12 years old.
Oh, wow.
By the way, if you're a friend of mine on Facebook, I posted my 8th grade photograph. It's not mine, it's the class.
I saw that. It was very cute.
I was either the smallest or the second smallest kid in the class. And I was the youngest. So when I got to high school, I was the youngest person in my high school, which is South Shore High School on the south side of Chicago, which segues right into where I was going to start, which is I was raised and born. No, I was born and raised on the south side of Chicago.
That sums it up right there, people.
Man, and that has dictated the way I handle myself throughout the years. Somebody was saying to me the other day, aren't you a little too old to be threatening people when they get in your face? You're 66 years old. Isn't it time you find a Buddhist mechanism to gracefully exit from confrontations and aggressive situations? My response was, oh, hell no. I am a Buddhist. I spent time as a novice monk.
No, yeah. He was an ordained Buddhist monk. But look at this Buddhist monk. Is this what you expect a Buddhist monk to look like? The epitome of serene.
Well, my robes are right over there.
I know.
I may bring them over
Whole
here
Buddhist temple sitting over there. It's
sometime during the
beautiful.
show.
I
Okay.
think so. I think so.
So, but in between being a Buddhist monk and being a child, I like the rest of you, I grew up, and so, you know, I
Did you?
Well, in the loosest sense of the word, come on. But I will give you this much. I'll share this part. I may have been a little bit off kilter during some of that time. We were talking about high schools.
I loved how you're using these so loosely. A little bit. Okay.
So here, AJ taught high school. I was a high schooler. So we were talking just before the show with some people about the fact that AJ taught some what you call, you know, disturbed kids. And I was like, wait, I was a disturbed kid.
Yes, you were.
So for those of you from Chicago, I was reminiscing that when I went to Central YMCA High School, my fourth high school, the vice principal.
Was this because you kept getting kicked out?
So I got kicked out of some. I dropped out of some. Okay. I went to South Shore High School for 2 years. I was too immature. I flunked gym.
You just didn't show up.
Well, in fairness to me, somebody beat the hell out of me.
I wouldn't have gone in there either. Then.
Yeah. And I sort of decided that.
Were you one of the only white kids at that school?
No. Okay. You know what? It was a young Arab boy that beat me. He beat me senseless. Really? Yeah, it was during the 6-day war.
What'd you say to him?
Stop.
I meant before he started beating you.
Okay. So, flashback. 1967, 6-day war.
I was 3.
You don't have to rub in that I'm that much older. So we were in swim class, which you had to be naked to go. Chicago public schools, you could not wear a swimsuit to swim in the swimming pool.
You're full of shit.
No.
Yes, they wore swimsuits.
No, you had to go. Boys had to be naked. Girls could wear.
You're full of shit. I don't believe you. I'm just putting it out there. I do not believe you.
No, and if you're 12 years old,
that's not true.
Yeah.
No, it's there is no.
So
way.
Freshman year, I'm 12. I'm
okay.
naked.
You know what? It's
I'm
okay.
naked around a lot of the boys. I'm
immature.
No puberty. Nothing. Next year, I'm barely puberty.
And they're grown men.
I'm 14.
They were really. You're full of crap, right? They were wearing swim trunks.
No. Start naked.
You are full of
it. Somebody?
I don't believe you.
We don't have a live thing, do we? Okay.
I don't believe you. That's live.
But that's not. They can't talk to us.
Oh.
Yeah. So here, people from Chicago know I'm telling the truth because all Chicago public high schools were like that.
Okay.
It was supposed to be a hygiene issue. So
it's okay to have your penis and your balls flopping around in the water with nothing covering them?
Will you stop that?
Seriously? Is that okay?
I apologize.
That just sounds disgusting to me. At least cover it with something.
Nothing.
And the girls weren't in the same class.
Right.
Okay. But still, that's disgusting.
I'm embarrassed.
That is, I don't believe. I just can't. I'm in awe.
I have to regroup.
I'm in awe.
You know, when we had the radio show, we had a commercial for the penis pump, and I thought that was embarrassing. Yeah, that was a carryover from Russ Martin's The Cabbie Guy.
If it works.
Not Russ Martin, Howard Stern.
Oh.
Anyway, so the story was that day was swim class.
Okay.
I didn't say a word. To answer your question, what did I say? What did I do to facilitate this aggression? What happened was kids were clowning around and messing with people in the water, one at a time. I mean, nobody got in the pool because the teacher wasn't looking. If the teacher wasn't looking, everybody just sat on the benches, kind of like benches like on a field.
Naked.
We sat there naked. And so
people out there
are
not believing this story.
They were tossing a kid in the pool, and then the kids in the pool, the 3 kids in the pool would get on them and, dunk them and everything. So somebody threw me in. And Saeed Zaid was one of the dunkers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that I triggered something deep down inside because he was first generation Palestinian. So 6-day war was very close to his heart.
Okay.
Right. I never got a chance to say anything. Here's what I can tell you about drowning. When you do surface, you don't scream because
You're full. Yeah.
you don't have any air. All you can do is, and then you're under again. So you never scream. The whole thing of scream when it doesn't happen. I just kept beating on me, and they say he kicked me when they tried to pull me out. Anyways, it went on, and so I didn't go back to gym after that.
I wouldn't have either.
So,
I think the naked thing would have kept me away.
well, believe me, if we thought we could pass gymnasium without going to swim, I wasn't a kid in the school that the swim team were.
I don't know how they got away with that.
They got to wear swimsuits.
And people got away with so
And the
much. back
girls
then,
had to
right?
wear the ugliest swimsuits.
Well, at least they got swimsuits.
Yes, they did. Yes. So, and then the gym teacher would often, so before you could get in the pool, you had to go through showers. So you had to walk this gauntlet of showers,
That's normal. Yeah.
or walk around.
Yeah.
So the gym teachers,
But weren't you supposed to rinse off before you got in the pool?
No,
Oh,
because he
okay.
would look to see if you were wet when you came out of the shower room.
But you were
before you
supposed
get in the
to.
pool.
You were supposed to rinse off before you got in the pool.
Yes, but you weren't supposed to dry off.
Oh,
You came through it. So that was embarrassing times 10.
that's very weird.
Yeah. So I flunked out of South Shore High School. I flunked biology. No, I got D- biology, F in English, and an F in gym, and a C in the only other class.
Now,
I
y'all,
took.
just saying, this
No,
man
I'm
is
sorry,
an
guys.
attorney in 3 different states now. This is a little scary.
Maybe I never got a C at South Shore High School. Maybe it was a D. Maybe it was all D's. I think I saw my course.
So if your children out there have
That's the
D's
point.
right now, there is hope, okay? Because he
Yes.
is an attorney in
That
3
is-
states.
that is
Just saying.
And then after that school, they sent me to boarding school. So if anybody from my boarding school is watching, Tilton School, Tilton, New Hampshire, hi. I hated them all. Yeah, no, it's horrible. I arrived in New Hampshire thinking I had escaped the harm of Chicago. I wasn't at that school 2 hours. Somebody was calling me a yid, which is like calling you a kike, which is like calling you dirty too, right? So I get off the boat, so to speak. I'm in New Hampshire. There's no place whiter in the world, and my school wasn't white. So, I started getting my ass whooped pretty quickly at Tilton too, but by rich kids. And so I got expelled from boarding school.
Okay.
Yeah. So after my expulsion from boarding school, then I went to a Chicago public high school called Kenwood High School. And then I dropped out of that when I was 16. Then I went to Central YMCA High School with the gym teacher.
You just bopped all over the. Oh my God.
Yeah. Then I dropped out.
Your poor mother.
I got a GED when I was 18.
Oh my God, your poor mother.
Oh, you don't know the half of it. Oh,
Oh,
that
your
poor
poor-
woman, what she went through. Oh my God.
So you did get your GED.
I still feel bad. Yes.
You've made amends.
Yeah, so to speak,
Okay.
And then for those of you that know the South Side of Chicago, got involved with the Blue Gargoyle program, and actually sort of was the Blue Gargoyle program at moments, and oh God. Anyways, that was a church. It was a Universal Church Disciples of Christ. So they kind of reformed me a little bit. I mean, they started facilitating because at that point I was living as a burglar on the streets, so that wasn't a good living.
That's
I mean,
not a
it
good
wasn't
living.
a safe living.
Okay, there you go.
Because not Chicago, Illinois penitentiaries were notorious at the time for being low class, and I was still, listen, I was 17, I had long hair. I was cute in the sense that I would have been highly desirable in any penitentiary anywhere. Okay. If I had gone to prison in any state,
Okay. I am so.
I would have been somebody's bitch so quick.
Okay.
Oh, I had everything you wanted in a little girl.
Oh
So,
my God. You know what?
Chicago Police Department took me into custody on numerous occasions, numerous. So that's a little bit between number of and numerous occasions, both of which are true. And so they had me in custody one time, and it wasn't going well. I will say that. It wasn't
Did
going
your mouth have a slight problem?
No, I was trying to keep my mouth
Really?
shut. 'Cause,
Okay.
oh,
First time for everything?
So wait. Let me.
First time for everything.
Wait, no, they arrest me in this restaurant on 57th Street in Chicago. And I'm yes sir, no sir, because Chicago police don't play. anybody from Chicago, you know, Chicago police don't play. You want to mouth off, you take the whooping, that's fine. You don't want to take the whooping, keep your mouth shut, right? So I'm yes, sir, no, sir, right? You know, so it's 2 cops, plain clothes, tactical unit, vice unit, they call it that. He handcuffs me, throws me in the car, you know. So he's got
And is this because you got arrested for burglary?
No.
Oh,
I got
okay.
arrested for aiding and abetting a fugitive.
Oh, okay.
I didn't do it.
A girl?
No. I was waiting tables at this restaurant. I lasted a week. And this fugitive came running through there. It wasn't unusual to see fugitives back then. He ran through the restaurant and he said, hide me. And I'm like, get away from me. I just rolled the joint. I didn't need any trouble. Okay. It's slow in the restaurant at that. It was the after lunch hour before the dinner hour. So he ran out the back door. Of course,
you got to smoke a joint during that time to relax.
He ran out the back door. Listen, this was 1970,
Okay.
right? Okay.
Most people were smoking at that point.
Yeah, exactly. So he ran out the back door, and these 2, plainclothes officers come running through the place, gangbuster, run out the back door. Now, here's my mistake. One of many. I go out the back door, and they're standing there, a little uptight. He had gone. And I said, is there a problem? I did.
You should have ignored them and gone back in.
And I shouldn't have gone out.
There you go.
And so they said, yeah, and you're it. And they said, you're under arrest for aiding and abetting a fugitive. Put your hands behind your back. Yeah, just like that. I mean, there was very little dialogue. I didn't have a chance to be a smart ass after that, right? So I had been locked up before for short periods of time. And I thought to myself, it's a steel cot. It's not a cot. What do you call it? It's a bench. Each cell has 2 steel benches in the lockup. It's called lockup.
Yes. I've been there.
It's where you go before jail.
Yes, I've been there.
So there's 21 police districts.
They usually have like this. They usually have like a cement bench.
Yeah, no, this had metal benches.
Oh God.
And so I was thinking to myself, it's cold, it's uncomfortable. So I asked for if I could get my jacket, because I had a nice leather jacket. And so I took my jacket off of the coat rack. Mistake number 2. Okay. Cop snatches the jacket.
Of course they do.
We get out to his car, my car, right? We get out to the car. I'm yes,
there,
sir, no, sir.
It's a joint in the.
There's something in there. There's a bag. Yeah.
There's a bag.
Okay.
He had a lid in the
so
jacket.
He finds that, he holds it up, and he gets mad. Why I don't know. This guy arrested everybody in the neighborhood once. And I said something, sir, no, sir, whatever I said. He said, if you say sir one more time, I'm gonna knock your teeth out.
Okay. He was not a polite Southern boy type.
Oh yeah, no. So I started to say yes, sir. Right? Because I'm in desperate straits. And I say yes, right?
Yeah.
He spun around, he cocked his hand back, his fist, and of course I swallowed the rest of the word. Yeah. And off we went to jail. But the point was, we got down to the jail.
There's a point to this?
Yeah.
There's a point to this.
We got to the precinct station.
Hold on, there's a point to this.
But wait.
Oh my God.
Well, I was telling you that I was a pretty boy.
Pretty boy.
Yeah. And not to girls.
Oh, just to boys.
Listen, I'm not suggesting for a second that I was like, this kind of sexy guy on the street. No, what I meant was I was going to be in trouble. So they're arresting me and they're booking me, and they found some additional evidence of my involvement with some street people called the Blackstone Rangers at the time. And they were very angry. The Chicago Police Department was very angry at the Blackstone Rangers for a variety of reasons.
Well, what did you do? Have a note in your pocket that said, I am part of the... No, you friggin' did not. You did not.
And I wasn't naked at the end.
Why would you have a note in there saying something about them?
No, it wasn't my note. It was a note to me from the leader of the Blackstone Rangers.
My God. Who keeps that crap? He was a bad gang member. Okay, bad gang member.
Can she bounce her hands on there without making noise?
Probably not.
Yeah. So anyways, let me get to the good part, which is I So they're booking me, and they go through my wallet.
Yes.
And there's a note inside my wallet from Eugene Hairston. Eugene Bull Hairston was the leader of the Blackstone Rangers at the time. At the time you wrote the
Are
note.
you supposed to tell the guy? Tell that?
I didn't have to tell him. Oh no. So
Okay.
so I was on my first.
Well, now Eugene knows where you are.
Eugene wishes to know. Do you have live comments on the side? People talking to you? Anyway, so while I'm telling the story, she can investigate whether you had questions. So Eugene Bull Hairston and I had breakfast when I was 15 and I was on my first LSD trip. Okay. On the south side, I went to cab. I got to the restaurant. I got out.
We're still in the same story. Just saying, okay? Ken is gonna have to learn to share. Oh my God. No wonder your show was 4 hours long. This is an hour long.
I just given a little background.
This is a story, not really background.
Oh, well, you wanted to know
I'm going
about.
to interview you. Tell your story. So what happened? Just ended. What did Archie Bunker say? Bottom line, Edith. Bottom line.
Can't bang. I'm going to get you a gavel. Well, you're the one that said what happened. They find a note.
Well,
they did.
Who the hell keeps a gag note in your pocket? You know what? You deserve to go to jail if you were that high. If you were that high, you deserve to go to jail.
Hold on. This is very important. But,
very important.
Well, because anybody from Chicago knows that in 1968, Blackstone Rangers were the largest gang in Chicago by far. 35,000 was one of the estimates of the membership.
That is crazy.
Okay? And they were ruled.
They had more police. They had more than the police officers.
Oh yeah, there were only 14,000 police officers at that year. So so the Blackstone Rangers were ruled by a group called the Main 21, where the two head guys were Eugene Bull Hairston, Jeff Fort. Jeff Fort's been doing life in prison for life. Eugene.
I think maybe we should only use first names.
So Eugene.
People, it's him. Just so if you come, please look for him. Okay, not me. I'm the nice one.
All right, so I'll make this part short. How I met Eugene standing out in front of the restaurant and the exchange and the whole thing. Anyways, I was a little nervous. I was pretty whacked. I'm tripping.
You're kidding.
Brains out. It's my first time.
On LSD.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I'm talking to this guy in the street corner out in front of the restaurant. I'm afraid to go in the restaurant, frankly.
Okay.
I've had the cab drop me off, but I'm nervous because I'm 15. I'm white. Nobody else is 15 or white. So I decided to act as if I was with this guy. I mean, I chatted with him outside, and I decided when he said, I got to go eat my breakfast, I decide
you're going to go in.
I'm going to go right on his backside, right?
Okay.
And then
that's what they wanted from you.
That's not nice. So I was going to break off at the counter. You know, I'd go sit at the counter, let him.
Okay.
So, but he turned around, he said, oh, hey, why don't you join us?
Okay.
There was an us. Okay. So I'm getting to the note.
Uh-huh.
So I sat down with them, grateful to have people in there. Anyways, Eugene and I, we talking. Eugene got up. He went to the phone. He said he was looking for this girl who was supposed to meet him. Very handsome guy. And he left me with another guy who he introduced as William. So William calls the busboy over.
We're still going with the story.
I know, right? And he has this exchange with the busboy. It's very unusual, surrealistic to me. And the busboy got nervous as hell. If he could sweat, he was sweating. And he's apologizing that he hasn't brought breakfast yet. I see it. I get it. Boom, he's gone. Eugene comes back. I know him I'm convinced Eugene's called for backup, the police, and they're going to come get me. I'm going to jail. What am I doing? You know, because I've already told them I'm tripping.
So go ahead and eat breakfast. Have your pancakes first.
Well, of course.
What the heck?
If anybody knows me, knows I'm going to eat. So they asked me, what am I doing there?
But how are you even come on.
Because I was
on
out of place.
LSD, you don't even know what the hell's going on.
Well, I knew enough to know where I was.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I got there, and so they asked me, what are you doing here? And I said, oh, I grew up 2 blocks away, you know? And I said, oh, you got the stone in you. And I should have picked up a little something on that comment. You got the stone in you. So I said, yeah. And then they said, so don't see you around here. I said, oh, that's because the Blackstone Rangers run the area now, and they got a real bad guy running them, right? And I said, oh, who's that? And I said, oh, there's this guy named so much so. He's a real
and
jerk.
and you're talking to these
No.
people.
I'm telling them about
Example of why not to do drugs,
I'm telling
people.
them what a jerk this one guy is.
Mhm.
And they're laughing. And I said, yeah. But I grew up here, so I know some of them. And, well, who do you know? And I named some names. They're like, oh, yeah. We grew up. So he says, you know who I am? I said, yeah, you're Eugene. He said, I'm Eugene Belairstein. I'm number one of the black. And I'm like, you are not. I do. I tell him you are not him. Because he's in the newspaper every day. He's on trial for attempted murder. So he's in the newspaper. He's in the Chicago Sun-Times daily. And so I'm like, you're not him. He's like, I'll bet you. And I'm like, no. You don't bet. You show me because we're friends now. So
You had the talk of bullshit back then.
So he took out his ID, and I'll be damned.
It was him.
He had his draft card, his driver's license.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, at least he was a good boy and signed up for the draft. The gang leader of Chicago signed up for the draft to go to Vietnam. That's who they should have drafted.
I
What
thought
the
about
hell?
Let me tell you that story.
Maybe the 35,000 guys, maybe we would have won the war. Okay, I'm sorry. I behave.
So the other guy, he said, and by the way, this is Eugene Bull. This is William Bull Throop. He's my warlord.
Okay.
He's one of the main 21. Now, I'm going to put this in context. This is if you're in New York City and somebody just said, this is John Gotti and this is the other guy. That's what this is like.
Right.
I am just been.
Is this a completely random meeting? And you're just like a hood
completely
kid.
Random.
And you're just like this hood kid.
Right. Yeah.
Who grew up there with everybody.
But I live in a
nice place.
I live in a nice place at the moment.
Didn't matter. It's still a hood kid.
So
it's
I asked him for his autograph.
No, you didn't.
Yeah. So you all
John
thought,
Gotti explained.
y'all thought that
Eugene.
I forgot what I was talking about. No. I asked him for his autograph.
You did not.
I did. And so what he said was he turned to William and he said, William, write him a little note, give it to him. And he went up to pay the bill, and William wrote out a note to me.
Who asked the gang member for their autograph?
And he signed it.
This is what LSD does to you.
He signed
children.
it.
Please.
And he gave it to me. I folded up. I put it in my pocket for a rainy day. The first time I got a chance to use it was with the Chicago Police Department on that day when they were going through my wallet and they found it.
So now you are a gang member in their book and have been placed as a gang member in
the Blackstone Rangers who they
Chicago.
hated with a passion.
Mhm.
And they said, we're going to bury you under this jail. They said, you're going to be somebody's bitch in the next, as soon as we get you down there. They're telling a 17-year-old boy whose father owns a lumber company and, you are going to, with your long hair, honey.
Yeah.
So I was a little nervous.
Yeah.
Yeah. In fact, what I did was I called my mom and I said, you have to bail me out. She's like, what do you, calm down. What do you, no, you got to bail me out.
Right.
And she said, well, it was nighttime now because, they take hours to book you. I said, if you don't do that, I'll hang myself. I'm not going down because they're going to. So anyways, I never went to prison and I didn't get.
Did you get your hair cut after that?
No. Well, yeah, I did. It's funny you should say that because the burglary division, which is a separate division, this was the vice division. The burglary division came looking for me. And they had a really good description by this time that I had not realized they had put together a fairly good portfolio.
Oh, okay.
I didn't realize
all right.
They had been collecting data.
See, I learned. It took me one time in jail. That was it. Never again.
No.
I had a shaved head and a nose ring. Okay, they did not like me. It was the last time I went to jail.
I cut my hair after
I
sometimes.
imagine.
Yeah, but and this is a shout out to my now deceased dear buddy Gary. I'm standing on a street corner, and here's the description: long, shoulder length hair, bandana, black leather jacket, 5'7".
What color bandana? That's a
It was
Dallas
blue.
question.
I can tell you it was
Thank
blue.
you.
But so Gary walks up to me and he wants to say hi. He's got shoulder length hair. He's wearing a bandana, black leather jacket, and I start screaming at him, "Get away from me! Get away from me! You're gonna get me busted!" And so what I did was within the next day or so, I caught a ride to San Francisco, and the rest is history.
Oh my God.
And now I'm a lawyer in 3 states. Enough about me. Let's talk about AJ because
Well, I don't think you really
halfway
quite
through the
covered
show.
the whole thing about Ken. He told this wonderful story that sort of sums up Ken's, up here, what's going on up here. And no wonder his Law and Disorder show was popular back then between the gang work that you did. And see, you left that out. And I think that's super important. So, yeah, he was a little troubled child. But then into his 20s, he was working with the gang kids and everything in Chicago. Is that correct? Yeah, in Chicago. So that's a huge thing that you're leaving out about your story. I
Well,
mean,
there was a lot more story, but
I know,
we've been going forever.
I
Like
know.
you said.
So, but we can just I'm summarizing for you. Okay, now.
Oh yeah, that's good. That's good.
You like that?
That'll keep it to like 20 minutes instead of
Exactly.
we won't be here
So
tomorrow.
then Ken helped the gang kids, and it was like unbelievable. And I think that's where Ken and I bond, because I taught inner city high school for 13 years and was part of the, worked with the gang kids, and absolutely loved it. Loved it. They're just misunderstood. That's true. Loved working down there. And so I think Ken and I sort of bonded about talking about that and everything, because we understood each other. But then he went on. And how old were you when you went to law school? And I mean,
33.
Yeah. So he went on when he was 33 and went to law school. And now, what states are they?
Illinois, Texas, Arizona.
Texas. Awesome.
Yeah, I always like to be licensed in the state I'm in.
Yeah, that's very important. To make a living here.
But I've gone around other states and done trials.
Okay.
But I'm not licensed in all the states to do trials. You can go to any state and do what they call pro hoc vice. That's Latin.
Oh, see.
E pluribus unum, baby.
Carpe diem.
There you go. So
I grew up Catholic.
So I've done trials in Kansas. Kansas City, Missouri, Batesville, Arkansas, Springfield, Missouri, Chicago.
And you were a criminal attorney. Weren't you a criminal attorney?
Yeah, mostly.
Yeah,
mostly. But
which makes sense.
Those were civil trials.
But see, to me, that makes sense, because I think that when you're a criminal attorney, or I guess it's the same with the prosecutor, if you can think like a criminal and you've been there before, I think that gives you an advantage.
Oh, yeah.
Mhm.
Well, at least
Whereas people who don't,
gives you an advantage with your client.
That's what I'm saying.
You have
Yeah.
certain empathy, and you also know when they're lying.
Exactly.
And they would try to, I'm like, oh, hell no, didn't go that way. But it also, I don't
Yeah,
think,
it's the bullshit factor.
yeah, I don't think I ever want an attorney that hasn't been locked up.
Really?
Yeah, because, I got to tell you, I've met so many attorneys, couldn't have cared less what the outcome was. I had a friend of mine who once told me in the middle of a murder trial I ran into him outside the courthouse. I'm sweating. I'm in so much panic
Because you
I'm
want
doing
this
my
guy to get
first
off.
murder. I know he's innocent.
Right.
And I should have took the case. This is what I'm thinking. I said he needs a real lawyer. I'm not the right guy. I only practiced in 3 years. I'm freaking out. How do I get out of this? The trial's already started. And I come out of the courthouse and I ran into this friend of mine. Well, he'll remain anonymous.
Really? So this attorney is going to remain anonymous, but none of the gang members are. Okay.
Yeah, I'm not going to give your name out, Mark. So I'm talking to him. I tell him, he's like, hey, how you doing? And I'm like, oh, Mark,
Right.
And he says, did you get paid? And I said, well, I got some of my money. I never got all my fee.
Sure.
And he says, if you got paid, you won. See, I looked at him and said, I can't even talk to you. I never did talk to him about the law again. He had been a little bit of a mentor for me from at the very beginning.
Right.
But after that
Oh,
comment,
that's really crappy.
I never asked him another question.
No kidding.
Yeah,
That
and
is
he's not the last one. He
crappy.
wasn't the first. He wasn't the last who had that attitude.
Wow.
I ran into a guy I went to high school with. I don't want to throw every lawyer under the bus, but most of them deserve to be under a bus.
Not all.
I ran into a kid I went to high school with. I'm at a courthouse. Family gives me some money to do something because they saw me. They said, "Could you do this for us?" And they gave me some cash. I couldn't get it done.
Right.
I don't know why. I mean, I just couldn't get it done. So time's ticking, and they got frustrated. They said, "What's going on?" I said, "Listen, I'm trying. I'm working with the clerk. I'm working with everybody. I can't get them out of the lockup. I don't know what the problem. We want our money back." So I said, "Okay, that's fair."
Sure.
So I have their money back, and this guy I went to high school with calls me over. He's been practicing for years.
Right. He goes, "Why'd you give him the money back?"
Why'd you give him the money back? I said, "I didn't do anything." He says, "You never get money back.
You spent time doing it." He's like, "Well, we spent time doing it." So
you see, all retainers are non-refundable. I said, "But I didn't do anything."
I know.
Yeah.
It's
So-
called, yeah.
So there
An ethical, honest attorney.
too many
That's the problem.
conversations like that, right?
Yeah, that would bother me.
Yeah.
That would
I
Well, that's what's happening down. I taught in Oak Cliff, of Dallas, which is, Title I schools and economically disadvantaged. And they were taking money from, this was even before Trump and all the issues happening with the immigration. But they would give the attorney, they'd save up their money and give the attorneys money down there, some of them, to help them with their citizenship and to get a work permit or something to make them legal. And then the attorney wouldn't do anything. They just would take their money.
right.
And that just, I mean, that was constant. That was not like that's a regular thing that people are doing to these immigrants. And it's like, oh my God, it just broke my heart to think that somebody would actually do that.
Can't tell how many times somebody came to me and told me the story about their last case. Now they're hiring me on this one. So tell me what's your criminal history. They're telling me, I'm like, wait a second. So what happened in that case? Well, I pled guilty. Why?
Right.
What do you mean you pled guilty? You tell me that, yeah. Well, the lawyer
Told you to do it.
this was the best deal I was going to get. Well,
And he didn't want to go to trial.
Right.
Because he knew the kid didn't have money.
Well, and a lot of these guys aren't good at trials anyways.
Right. Because they don't think like a criminal.
I was talking to somebody just the other day about one case. I was very proud of this moment. Kid signed a 5-page confession. If you know me, you know this story. Kid signed a 5-page confession to murder.
This is your big case.
And 5 woundings. Just boom, 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 boom. I spent 3 years in jail and then hired me at the literally last minute.
Right.
And we got him off. But I'll never forget the judge calling me into his chambers. And he said, "You understand I offered him 35 years on a plea deal. That's pretty good for 1 death and 5 injuries." And I said, yeah, we know that. And he said, "You understand it doesn't get better. It gets worse."
Wow.
And I said, yeah. He said, "You go to trial. This kid goes to trial and you lose. You don't get no 35.
See, I could never be an attorney because I'd be freaking out. There'd be no way.
Oh, I freaked out all the time.
Yeah.
So I said, fine. Well, we won. Now, some people say you shouldn't gloat. I am not that guy.
I'd gloat over that.
Listen, if you do a good job, I don't care where you are, what you gloat a little.
Gloat a little. Enjoy the success.
But I couldn't gloat that day. The jury came back, but there were 2 juries in the room. That was very convoluted. 2 guys on trial, 2 juries in the room listening to. Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yes.
I've never been to a courtroom like that. Interesting.
Yeah. Well, he didn't want to take the time to have 2
trials. I get it.
And
but
they both had made admissions, supposedly had made admissions against their interests, which implicated the other person.
Right.
So you can't do that. I can't admit evidence. You say Ken did it.
Right. But you probably did.
Yeah, but it's called hearsay. They can't use that against me.
Gotcha.
Okay. Because you're a defendant. Okay. Now if my daughter says he did it, they're going to put her on the stand in a second. All right. So I couldn't, the other jury.
Did you get any money if you say you did it? Did you get his money or anything? I don't know. Let's look into that. Okay. We'll look into that.
Well, we're talking at some future day. We'll talk about if you ever shoot somebody, you better hope the only witness is not your mother, because it doesn't matter even if she doesn't like you. I'm not gonna believe her. But
interesting.
I wanted to do a victory lap around the courtroom before I came back to Dallas. It was in Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
And the other jury was out. And I just had to get out of town. I was way past my due date to get on the airplane. But next time I went to Chicago,
You did your victory lap.
I went down to the
There you
courthouse, I bust through the courtroom doors and like, hi, it's me, and you could see the look on the judge's face, crestfallen, because he was so sure I was going to lose.
Right.
And he was kind of like foaming at the mouth about it. Your screen's dead.
Oh.
So he was kind of foaming at the mouth during the trial. In fact, he treated me so poorly during the trial that I objected. I went in chambers with him and said, you shouldn't treat me so badly. And he said, I'm not treating you badly. And I said, well, you haven't approved any of my objections. You've overruled every objection I've made, and you've sustained every objection the state made. And he said, well, make a good objection and maybe I'll sustain it.
Yeah.
I'm like, how? Anyways.
Did maybe your attitude come across towards him?
Well,
He
after
didn't
that,
like you?
After that, I didn't like him.
Yeah, well, he probably didn't like you to begin
So
with.
that's law, and there's a reason to be nervous. I mean, the whole system's against your client. I personally would counsel people, don't do stuff that's going to get you arrested.
Well, doesn't
mean, no, I represent a lot of innocent guys. You didn't have to be guilty to be arrested, but you could reduce, numerically, you can reduce the probabilities of getting arrested if you don't commit crimes, or in the alternative, don't live in the inner city. Chicago police don't care a lick about evidence. God bless them. I was friends with one.
How long ago, though? Maybe it's changed. I'm trying to be positive here.
That's funny. That's funny.
I'm trying to be positive. These poor Chicago policemen, some of them are very hard workers.
Yeah. Every year there's a scandal because they've got a very good union.
Mm-hmm.
And so they'll get on disability and they'll never come back. They'll just keep collecting money, and then they'll, how the insurance investigators go out.
Right.
And there's the guy painting fences for a living. He's on disability from the police department.
He was traumatized working with the city gang members.
So AJ is a yogi.
Yes.
And she's a yogi, and I am not. She's a yogi, so she transitioned.
But you're a Buddhist.
Yeah. But we don't yoga.
Meditation.
We don't do a lot of yoga. We meditate.
Yoga and meditation.
People always asking me, do I do yoga? I'm like, it's not a Buddhist thing. No. So, but I teach meditation, you teach yoga. And we both, so we said this, we'd spend this first hour introducing ourselves. So,
well, no, Ken spent the first. Well, I'm totally teasing you. I love you.
So, we both have, history. And AJ's got, in some arenas, she got more history. One arena she has more history is she's been clean and sober, for instance, far longer than I have. So, it's not uncommon for me.
How long is it for you now? 11?
11.
11, over 11.
This time.
This time, yeah. Ken has had a few, which most people do.
Two.
Yeah.
I had one nice run, 14.
That was awesome.
Then a run out there, 10, then back 11.
Were you really gone 10?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's
a
long time to be
statistics, so I'm back up.
Oh, seriously.
Well, it took me a long time to sink.
Most of the time when you're in recovery and you go out and you're using,
no.
most of the time you don't come back. 10 years?
First
I didn't
6
realize
years
that.
I was clowning around. I really wasn't doing it.
Wasn't that when you owned all the clubs?
That was
Ken also owned shooting ranges, like this kind of shooting range. That thing, yeah. What was it? You used to own DFW?
I used to, I don't even want to give them a shout out. Somebody might go there as a result of anything I say,
He was, yes.
So
he's a gun-toting Buddhist.
Yeah. And then I owned the nightclubs at some point, and that was really a bad investment.
You think?
I know, yeah. And at the time, she catered to the nightclub industry through a magazine that she owned, and I was in the industry as an owner of a club. And 2, 3.
Small world.
3.
See, but I know who you were, but I didn't. You were too high. I didn't know what was about me because you knew my employees, but you didn't know me.
I really meant well.
I know you did because you have a big heart, honey. That's not the point.
So I owned an adult entertainment club or 2. And I want to say this: I I lost a lot of money because
What?
I kept trying to fix everybody. Oh my God. They said to me, you can't help these people. And I said, or no. They said to
And
me,
this is while he's drinking and using. He is going to try to help
I'm
people.
12-stepping them. I'm sending them to Narcotics Anonymous, Alcohol
No,
Anonymous.
you really weren't. You're high. You're not even sober, and you're sending them to the program.
They were
That
worse.
is such.
They
They
were
were
worse
worse
than me.
because maybe you weren't an alcoholic.
Listen, I had my first club was a jazz lounge.
Oh my!
And it sunk like a rock from the minute it
Really,
opened.
jazz would be good though. Was it a jazz titty club?
Huh?
A jazz titty bar?
No.
Oh.
No, this was down in Deep Ellum.
Oh, really? Which
Yeah.
one?
It was at the corner of Crown. It was called the Den. It wasn't called the Den long enough for you to remember because it didn't last long. It was on Crowdis and Main.
My ex owned most of Deep Ellum. Did you know that?
No.
Yeah.
You'll have to tell me about
I
that.
will.
Huh.
Yeah. Back in the day. What year was that you had that down there? Because I own clothing stores down there, and then my business
I'd have
office
to
was
ask
down
one
there.
of my ex-wives that. I'm just saying. See,
Maybe you could figure out which ex-wife and figure out a time frame.
Stace's mother ran the club down there for a while.
Really?
Yeah. The second club I bought was
Interesting.
the Body Shop. And I tell you, people said, you're not, you can't, you have no idea what you're getting into. And
Well, you don't.
I would say I worked with street gangs. And
I know.
I
Me
know
too.
I know how to work with people.
Yeah.
Don't worry about me.
Mhm.
Oh, was I wrong? And I just tell one little anecdote today, but I wasn't there 3 weeks. The floor manager comes in and says, there's a girl overdosed on heroin in the toilet.
Yep.
And
So what did you do?
Well, I ran back there and she literally was sitting there with a needle hanging in her arm.
Wow.
She was.
Did you think maybe some
thought
higher
she was-
power was
he
trying to
thought
tell
she
you
was
it
dead.
was time to get out of
I'd
the
only
club
been there
business?
3
And that,
weeks.
as I said, do you think maybe some higher power is trying to tell you, hey, when you have a girl in the bathroom with a
resuscitated
needle
her.
in her arm, that maybe it's not the business for you? But no, Ken kept going.
Yeah. And it got a lot worse. So that was turbulent.
You think?
And you came in out the cold earlier, and then I admire that, and I've even asked you for advice, whether it's been relationship advice, all that stuff, because you have a certain wisdom,
really,
that I think is going to really augment the show. When I had the radio show, I had some good people around me. I don't think anybody as smart as you.
Oh,
be
can't
surprised.
call me smart.
Yeah,
Wait, can I
no.
get that in writing to put in my pocket?
No, get a transcript. That's the best you're gonna get. You know what?
Well, I have a master's in business.
When my daughters were called in to testify against this guy that birthed them or something. I don't know how you say it. So they were under oath, and they went in front of judge.
Oh
They
my
wouldn't let me
God!
in
Was
the-
this when you
they
had the
wouldn't let me in
friggin'
the
titty
courtroom.
bars too?
No.
Oh my God!
Will
thank
you
God.
stop with the language?
And titty bar, what do you call it?
Oh.
Adult club.
Oh, God.
Adult club.
Stop. It was an adult
The naked club?
entertainment nightclub.
Oh.
Leave it at that.
Okay.
There you go. Jesus. So they went and they testified under oath. And I meant to get a transcript because, they came out and said, oh, yeah, Stacia testified that you were like a father. You did all these things.
Well, you did.
I know. But they would never say that to you.
But you were amazing.
At the time, that was pretty special. And
Absolutely.
I wanted to buy the whole trial transcript just to get that.
Just
one.
to post it
Just
on the
to see
wall.
that, just
To see what your girl said
my
about you.
daughters testified that I had been.
So
like
when
a
they become
father.
teenagers, you can show them what they
And
what you
apparently, the
meant.
judge laughed when she said he even disciplines us just like a father. So
Oh,
yeah. So anyways, that was fun time. So listen, you demonstrate you're smart by having turns that part of your life around 30 years ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's not smart. That's program.
Well,
that's
you could call
working.
it desperation, whatever it is.
It was complete desperation because I knew I was going to die. I was an alcoholic and cocaine addict and anything else, and cute girls back in the 80s could get all the cocaine they wanted. That was not an issue. And the 80s was a huge cocaine. And do you know what? And this is what people don't understand. I used to tell my gang kids this. Do you know that ecstasy was legal then?
You know,
Kids
I missed
nowadays
that.
go, wow.
Yeah, I was clean during that time.
Oh, really? See,
I was in a program.
I got sober in 88.
Yeah. See, so and then when I went out in 95, 96, it was illegal. No,
Right.
I don't know.
No,
what
it didn't
was.
stay. It got illegal pretty quick.
Yes.
Yeah.
In fact, I did a show on ecstasy when I had the radio show, and we had a doctor in because I made him explain to people that most of the negative stuff about ecstasy was lies.
Oh, really?
Coming out from the government and stuff,
Okay,
and the media, that there were downsides to any chemical.
Any kind of drug.
It's
Yeah.
bathtub
Well,
gin.
the problem is,
Ecstasy,
back
once they made it illegal, it was bathtub gin.
well, it was already. I mean, when it was illegal, you had no idea what you were taking.
Right.
Some were pink, some were purple, some had unicorns on them, some had smiley faces, some were yellow, some were white, some had speckles. I like the speckled ones. Anyway, you never knew what you were taking or what was in them. Literally, you had no idea, and it just didn't matter, back then to me. And really to most of my friends, it just didn't matter. And we were just partying. Man, I remember that so vividly because that drug, it made you love everybody. Like, it wasn't even the 60s. It was the 80s. Woo, we loved everybody. Love drug. Your worst enemy could walk in and you love them.
Yes. Well, I did a radio show. Maybe I don't know if I ever told you. I did a radio show and we were live broadcasting from a club. It was a Saturday night. And
oh, that'd be fun. We need a live broadcast from a club.
And so, we would go out to commercials. We don't go to commercials here. I don't know if that's good or bad. But anyways.
They may need a break.
They'd go to commercials.
Especially from your first story.
It is what it is. And so I sat down after one of the breaks, and the producer, Shemp was the producer, I remember, and he said, "Are you on ecstasy?" And I said, "Why you say that?" They said, "As you are hugging everybody."
Oh, that's
men,
so funny.
Women, you are,
But now I'm like that.
No discrimination.
I'm like that without drugs now. I'm a hugger. I want to hug everybody. I want to love on everybody.
I'm not a hugger.
Oh, I'm a hugger. I hug everybody.
That night I was hugging everybody.
Now, and that's without drugs. Sober over 30 years now. Thank God to 12-step programs.
So did we ever see? Oh, let's see. Okay, Paul.
People are just saying hi.
It's freezing cold. How about you? So Paul's my Saturday. So everybody who follows my exploits knows Paul and I ride every Saturday morning.
I don't know how you do that with him, Paul, because there's no way.
And so what he doesn't know is I got up this morning and bike to where I go every morning. I go to meditation group 6:30, then I go to this recovery meeting at 7, and I bicycled there this morning, and they said it was 40 degrees.
There's no way.
It was 40 degrees indoors, maybe. It was not 40 degrees outdoors. So I dressed for 40 degrees. The wind chill was 27.
Yeah, there's no way. There's no way.
So
I have a motorcycle, and there's no way.
Yeah, right.
There's no. I do not ride in the cold. There is no way in hell I ride in the cold
year round. But I ride year round because I paid a lot of money for my bicycle. I'm getting my money back. That's how cheap I am.
It's you and you.
What can I tell you, honey? I'm just sitting there. I'm just like, listen, I bought this bike. It's going to get used. And as a result, my vehicle has very little miles on it because I go. And Paul and I, we go up to McKinney from here. We go up McKinney. It's 25 miles.
Why would you want, who out there would really want to ride in minus 27 degrees? Who wants to do that?
Well,
I don't want to do
anybody
that.
that wants to look.
Are you upset because your things keep going off?
Anybody that wants to look 60, only 64 when they're actually 66.
Well,
okay.
64, not 66.
How about if I didn't tell you I was 66.
I'm telling you, those 2 years, it's amazing.
I was a day over 64.
It is so amazing. I can't even handle it. Amazing.
And
why are your headphones not on?
Oh my gosh! Because you know what?
Why?
They're a lot of pressure. So my friend Calvin actually tuned in.
Are you getting a headache?
No, just my ears hurt.
Oh.
And I didn't have them flashing. I wanted them to flash.
You're a little bit of a wimp.
I'm not a wimp. All right, I'm a wimp.
Oh, my ears.
So I want to tell you,
hurt.
this is important
Yes, I'm listening.
because this is about the show.
He has my hand, so it must be really important. Yes, sir.
So Calvin said hi.
Calvin.
Calvin. And the
How come
reason
I know
it's
that
important-
name?
Well, you don't.
Oh,
It's
I
not.
don't?
It's not somebody.
Okay.
There's somebody I worked with at DFW
Oh,
guy,
okay. Okay.
and he was an instructor, and he's
Okay.
a former law enforcement officer, and he's a supporter of the dark side.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Here's the thing: the show I did, Law and Disorder, on the radio was very political.
Yes.
I'm a political guy. The reason I raised the moment right now is because I think we're going to try to not throw Trump under the bus
Okay.
regularly.
I
Okay.
looked at him like, holy crap.
Wait. And that's important because I've never unfriended my friends who are more conservative than me. Let's just say that. And so it's interesting that Calvin
You're
sent a
not
shout out to me.
conservative?
I know, it's hard to believe.
I didn't realize.
So, and I had some anxiety about the fact that I was very political. Well, for instance, when the Iraq War broke out back in
the day.
I was on the air,
Okay.
and I was very against the war. Why does she want me to put my ears on there?
Well, because before they weren't.
Oh, so I was against the war. I threw Bush under the bus daily. Didn't seem to affect my ratings. I did good. Nobody at work. I mean, I'd go to work, but probably because nobody was listening. I don't know. nobody ever said anything about my political. So
I think that's what the whole show was
but
about. Ken.
Facebook, in the last 12 years or 10 years since the election of Obama, has become very polarizing.
Yes.
But I have this group of friends, primarily that I knew them from the gun industry.
Okay.
And I like them. I got to tell you, if it wasn't for the election of the last two presidents, I wouldn't know how much we hate each other.
I don't know.
Right? You know what I'm saying? I mean, we'd still break bread and we wouldn't just, I mean, you would.
It's bad nowadays when you say to your friends, okay, listen, I'm going to go out with you, but do not discuss Trump. Because if you discuss Trump, then I'm leaving. We're just going to get in a fight. I mean, I have to have that conversation with people before I go to dinner with
Well,
them.
I don't tell people
I don't want to
go-
discuss it.
mostly for me, it's Facebook. I mean, so it's
No,
not a
you
matter of
do.
setting parameters. I run
I set
Facebook,
parameters when I go to dinner.
and my friends write, and some of them are. Listen, they're not the same political ilk I am, but I want to give them something.
Well, we're both a
I
little
wanna pro-
off.
I want to
We're
provide.
way out there. Not really. A bunch of us are, aren't we?
I want to provide a forum,
Mhm.
you and I,
Absolutely.
where people, even though they don't disagree with us politically, won't
Right.
be offended.
No.
When I was on Shock Jock Station, they were part of the whole thing.
But honey, if they don't
was
agree with
to-
us, they'll be offended. There's not much we can do.
Well, but you don't have to call them a bunch of basket of despicables
Well,
or
no,
deplorables,
no.
things like that.
But they're not. If they don't
know.
agree with us, then they're not going to like us.
But who else tuned in? Thanks, Calvin, for saying anything, for even bothering to tune in. Because there's Calvin, there's Buddy, there's Jeff. These
I
guys are
can't
all-
see. Can
they're
you?
to
Oh, you
the-
have glasses
they're
on.
to the
All
right of- They're to the
right.
right of Attila the Hun, those guys. You know what I'm saying? Compared to me. So I appreciate that anybody tuned in. Next time, maybe what we'll do is we'll find out more about AJ, less about me. I really dig this, by the way. Somebody gave me this when I had this at local motion. My God, that was the youth agency I ran.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, so Law and Disorder, to Save and Protect, that's Three Stooges. It's one of my favorite pieces.
It is
So,
such a guy thing.
So at
guy
6:59,
thing.
where most people tuned out various times, maybe some of you came back. I don't know. Listen, we're open to the probability or possibility. I say possibility that you have a better idea of what we could do. If you want to go political, you just heard my position. I'll be political.
Okay, but let me
I
explain
will
about
be
Ken.
political.
Ken will behave himself I know him from his radio show. Okay. He will behave himself for 5 seconds and then he's going to go off the deep end. He's going to say things and call people names and do things. So he's saying he's going to try. So let's be grateful that Ken is at least going to try to behave himself, even though those of us who know Ken and in the radio show, You know.
So all I'm saying is you can email us. Do we have the email thing or what do we do? How do we handle that? Huh? What's the website? www.law-disorder.com, right?
Okay.
There you go.
There you go.
So send some, give some feedback because we didn't come up with a hard and fast deal here yet. I love the flashing lights. It's so
I got those.
it's so New Year's. She can flash too. She's not. I'm digging it, man.
I thought the flashing was a little much.
No,
You don't think so? I think it might be
It's a
just a
holiday,
tad
it's a
much.
holiday.
Okay, it's a tad much. It's
so we gotta
it's
go. So
Happy
how
New
do I?
Year.
How do I?
Well, wait. Okay, so you can also listen to the podcast. Okay, so if you missed the beginning or just got the end, you can listen to the podcast on what's your website again?
Law-disorder.com.
There you go. So that's there also. And we're going to be on Tuesday nights at what time did we get on? 6:00. It will be our normal thing.
And it'll be on iTunes on Wednesday morning. It'll be on the website. On the website.
It'll be on the website tomorrow morning. So if you turned in at the end and want to hear Ken's story at the beginning, you don't want to miss it. You can tune in to get it from the podcast, which is on law-disorder.com. All right. And you can also go to dallasyogamagazine.com and get all zen after getting mad at listening to Ken in the future. Okay. So it's great hearing from you. Go ahead and what's
Ain't nothing but that love thing. Okay.
Peace out.
South side.
Okay.
All right.
I have to go